So there are not many participants, but of course we've got recording on YouTube channel. So if someone will be late, he can try to watch our YouTube channel. So I need to share my screen, and here. So I hope that you can see my screen and you can hear me. Can someone tell me it's everything okay with my voice, with my image, with my slides? Yes, okay. Oh. Yeah, this slide will be first. So good morning, good day everyone again. It's really great that you all can be here in our day 4 of our skill camp. And for today, we've got new information for you. First of all, I want to show you some magic technologies from Apple that help us to make UI testing very fast, very easy, and a little bit interesting, I think. So I will show you how we do it in iOS platform. On Android, we don't have same technologies, but also we can make UI tests. And next one, I want to show you what type of test projects we've got on Russia or for international competitions, for example. And for new people who the first time in our skill, in our camps, it will be very important information for preparing for next competitions, for starting skill in your countries and etc. And for our camp, we also prepared a little test project for you. And I hope that many of you will have a chance to try to complete our short test project. And tomorrow we will talk about the assessment. I will show you assessment criteria, and we try to assess your results of test project. And I hope it will be interesting too, because you all will be ready for a competition, for a championship that will be in August, and I hope it will help. So I think we can go to our tests. First of all, I want to show you application that we will use for UI testing. For example, in one of our Russian competition, we've got this one test project, this application about the like a meditation. It's we have layouts in Russian language because it was for Russian competition, but it not matters. You can see here the sign-in screen. You can see here the screen with some interesting elements like a problem with Zoom. Okay, like a slider with elements, like horizontal slider, like a vertical slider with these cards and etc. You can see the tab bar, not default, not simple tab bar, and etc. So, and for example, I want to use applications that Sergey shared with me. In one time, he showed how to complete this task using Swift UI language and Swift. And so we can see, oh, where's it? We can see here that, for example, we have screens in Swift UI. Now preview is loading, and here we can elements, every screens and etc. So this all wrote in Swift with Swift UI, you can see. And it's interesting example because with this example we can see the powerful of new technology like a Swift UI from Apple, and we can see that we can create the real UI from a layout very fast and maybe just unstable too. So you can see that the building is not so fast, but I have a Mac Pro here, and by the way, Xcode builds not very good. And so and so I wait while he show preview. Oh, it takes so many time. Yeah, now we can see. And you can see that in a screen, we don't have default text fields. Maybe I can show you like a text field. Oh, just a second. It was that it should work, but again we've got problems. Yeah, we don't need to string. We need to use string builder, but I think it will not work. Okay, it's not a problem. But by the way, it's not default text field. And for example, you can see here custom text field class structure, where we've got the elements like a Z stack for a text field, for a rectangle, and for a placeholder for here. And it can be a problem for UI testing because as a default, Xcode gets not custom elements, he gets real native elements like a text field, label, and etc. And by the way, we need to test if everything works. For example, if sign in works correctly, if after sign in we go to next screen. For example, if I where is it? Yeah, if I write, I need to turn hardware keyboard. Okay. If I write here wrong data, for example, here we can see error that there will be add symbol in the email address. So we try to add symbol. So we can see an error that user with such credentials not found. And if I try to write real general real address, this one, and password, this one, we can go to the main screen, so it works, the sliders and etc. And we need to test automatically is all screen changes, navigation and etc. works. And try to use a powerful UI testing platform from Xcode. And can you tell me now the text is normal for it, or it's too small again? I hope that better, yeah. So I think it's much better now. Thank you for your feedback. And what we need to do for UI testing in iOS. Here in navigation panel on the left side of our Xcode, we've got the icon for tests. And if we need to create tests, in the bottom side, we need to press to a plus button, and we can add new UI test target. For example, we can. I press 2, for example, and now we create a target with a simple code for our UI tests. We don't need anything from here, from test examples and etc. So I removed them all. And what we need to do, we need to create the method for testing something. For example, function test example. And now, if you know about UI testing, it's about the clicking all elements for putting information for text files and etc. So we need to try to run application and press dynamically on elements. For that, we need to find element by name or by another some identifiers, and it's a problem because we don't know what name we've got for example, in this element, on this element, and we don't know how to what code we need to use for finding these elements. And because we have Xcode, we can do interesting thing. Why we don't have a test example here? Just a second. Oh, no, we've got. So for Xcode helps us to record actions for unit testing. For that, we need to place our cursor here, and in the bottom of screen, I hope you can see the red circle for recording. I will press on it. Now you can see that application running, and you can see if I try to press somewhere, there some new code lines will be created in our test example method. For example, I can press for element, it not works. So we need, I think we need to reload this test. Hey, why it's not working? Yeah, now it works, but works not good. But I want to remove my application. Maybe the problem was in that we already have got application with the tests. Before our meeting, I test everything, and I think something is broken. So I again try to record. Yeah, I try to press enter to account. You can see that we've got a line. Here we can see the name of button. Here in the Russian language, enter to account. Now I, for example, can press to enter button, and we can see that we've got a line for tap, for click for this button, and then we can see that we've got alerts. You see this one, yeah, and we can see that we pressed OK button on an alert, this one, and tap to it, and you can see that Xcode trying to generate all lines of code that can be runs again in the next time without my clicking and etc. And with this one, we can try to press to our elements like this one, static elements tab, and then I try to write some information, but because I connect my hardware keyboard, I need to remove it. I need to use a software keyboard, yeah. And now I'm putting information, and you can see that here we can record it, all my actions. And it's very useful because making UI tests now not so hard thing for developers. But we have some problems with current application and with creating tests. For example, when I clicking to an email file, Xcode gets this line like a static text email, and I'm tapped for this static text. But it's wrong because I want to tap to text file, not a static text. And we don't have any idea how to find this text file, because from a manual creating unit tests code, we can't click to this text file. So we can click, but we can see the lines for this one. Oh, it's generated already, but before it was a problem because, as I showed before, we have got the custom text file in our project, and it's a little bit problem. And for that, I added for this custom text file additional variable like an identifier, and add identifiers for this custom text file. For example, this one identifier, and I used it like you can see the text file, yeah, and you can see that I add accessibility identifier, and so every text file now have this identifier, and I can try to access to him with this string. And for example, before our meeting, I prepared some working example of UI test. You can see that I try to to press enter to account button. Then I try to find the text field with our identifier, like this one. And then I try to type to it. It's very important because then I need to type the text like a real email and real password. I want to change it to not real for testing, like something like this. And I try to file my password field and next and do same things. So if I use my hardware keyboard, not software, yeah, now I use my real keyboard, and then I try to run this test while filed. Where is it? Test login account, run login account, voice file. Where is the error? Login, documentation. I can see errors here. Testing. So application works, it's okay. And what about tests? So we can remove this one. And what about assert? Everything is okay, I see. Try to remove my application. Oh, no, it works. I guess that it was because we've got second UI test project. And yeah, you can see that it works. I did not nothing. Its magic happens without me. So let's try to check again. Yeah, I run again this test, and you can see that it goes from one screen, this one, yeah, and try to write some text to an email file, and now it breaks in a password file. And here we've got the error. It happens because I connected my hardware keyboard. For a typing text on our simulators, we need to disable our connecting hardware keyboard, and then everything will work. Let's check. Yeah, and here we can see that our test successful. No. Why successful? It's not successful. something wrong, I think. And by the way, we've got the error, and we try to put real information like a password and email. So we try to run this test. I don't have an idea why it thinks that it's successful. It's always nil, always return false. Interesting thing. What about if I try to use it, this one? Before we start our meeting, I test everything, it works, but now it's assert. It's new and it's true. Yeah, this one. Okay. For example, for testing, is everything okay or not? I can to find alerts in our app. For example, alerts, count. Oh, really? If alerts count more than 0, so something was wrong. For example, expression. Okay, expression. For example, false. Something wrong. Okay, let's check it. I don't I think I need to comment this one. So let's try to run this test. Yeah, everything was okay, but there's no problem. I can't. There was a error because system can't find enter to account button, because in our application, if user complete sign-in process, he don't need to do it every time after restarting application. And for testing it again, I need to remove my application, to remove sign-in data, and then we try to run it again. And nothing happens. Okay. Okay. Let's try to install application without testing. And why again nothing happens? So we try to close our simulator and start it again. Yeah, so application works, and we try to run our test. Yeah, it works now. And there's some error again, because I think, oh, no, it's not connected element. Tapped, fixed file, tapped, general. Okay, so try it again. Now it looks like it's not the session about UI testing. It's now about issue solving, I guess. So, and why it's about said that we don't have a focus, but everything will be okay because we've got the password file. We can try to tap it again, for example. Maybe it will be better for the system. Again, what's wrong with it? So tapped text, now static text file. It's okay. Everything here is okay. It was double tapped and got focus. Try to make it focused. I don't know why, but we lost the focus of keyboard. Maybe we can UI, no. Keyboard, appearance, no. App, keyboard. Show it's not works. So we can try to, for example, connect keyboard. Yeah. It not works. Oh. And then disconnect hardware keyboard and try to run test again. Yeah, now it works. I don't know why, but you can see that the problem with the simulator. We just need to connect and disconnect hardware keyboard. So everything was okay because there was no alert and we don't have any assert. And here we can see the green icon that everything okay. But we want to try. I want to try to show last example when everything not okay. And for example, here I want to add the wrong address again. Try to run this test. So, and test succeeds. Everything is wrong, I think. Assert something wrong. Count. We need to check this. I need to get the name of this alert. So we need to record this one. So it's again, oh, yeah, now we can record. Where is it? It's now not in a record session because it was 0. Again. Yeah, we've got this alert. Its names with error, so I can make it like this. Stop recording. Alert. There no count exists. Something wrong. So let's check it. And it's not run. Try to run again. Will fail again. Because we have got the problems here, and we need to build again. yeah, again succeed. Why? I don't know. I don't know why, but we've got the problems with the getting elements. But I think we can spend many time for this issue solving. But you can see that Xcode have many problems with the simulator and for getting elements. By the way, it's more easily to create UI tests, for example, between Android devices and iOS devices. And here we've got good instruments for this. Okay, I think we can go to our next part. Yeah, I agree with you that because of that I hate Xcode. So I really don't like Xcode for creating applications. And I think we can go to our next part about test projects, because I think it's more interesting for you all, because you need to preparing for next competition and etc. And I want to show you more information. Lydia, I don't agree with you. People, normal people have got app code for development. So, and I want to show you some examples of our test project, and I want to show you what interesting things we've got in our test projects for example, Russian competition. We can start from this one, and we can see that it's real layout of application. It's not easy. It's not like a beginning designer created this layout. It seems like a real application, and it's interesting because of that. And every time for our test project, for our competition, we're trying to add interesting user control. We try to add interesting and hard UI elements for competitors, because we think that it's very important that the competitor can create not simple text fields, for example, or labels or sliders, but create elements like this one, or you can see that we've got a screen. Just a second, I want to show you. So I need my hardware keyboard. Yeah, it's better. But we got a screen that scrolls on the vertically, horizontally, and etc. And it looks great, I think. And we've got the menu and etc. So I need to change my headphone. And so it's not easy elements, but in real application, in App Store, in Google Play, you will also find the same elements, because it's popular, it's normal for development. And for layouts, now we use Figma, as you see before, and we use it because it's free, because it's very easy for developers to, for example, to get information about elements. For example, we can see the text field label here, and for example, we need to get information about the sizes, about the font family, and etc. And here in the inspect, I think we can how I can make. Okay, so here I can't adjust the font size, sorry, because yeah, it's not working. But here we can see all information about element. We can change the CSS to iOS or Android language platform, and it will give us all information about this element in that language that we can use. And it's really good. And for production, for real development, we use Figma too. And here we've got all elements. Here we can also can have some features with adding images from a gallery or from a camera, and they will be showed here or uploaded to a server, for example. Cool koala. So, and here, for example images for competitors if they want to add them locally. And here you can see the slider. In a test project description, we have a task that this screen will be like a slider. If competitor slides from if user slides this from left to right or from right to left, images will be changed, and it's two normal features for applications, and our competitors will know how to do it. So next one, someone of you tried to create this application in a year before, but for someone it's new one. Here we can see the big application with some new elements like code fields where competitor need to press the buttons to add the code, validation code. But in a test project description, we've got the task that after every click, we need to change position of these numbers, like a reorganize all these elements. And we've got the task that we need to make it with animation, with moving animation. So it's not just hide elements and show in not same positions. They need to move to new positions, for example. And it's interesting too, but not easy animation, not easy task. But in our local competition, we also ask competitors to use it. So, for example, we need to upload and download information from a server. We need to create, for example, a filter, and that will be used with a real API with a recept, and for example, search file will be will get information from a API with a inputted string, and it will work, and it seems like real application. So this information from a server too. There's some animations with the loading, with the getting some crunches, for example, plank, squats, and etc. So you can see that it's look like production application, and I hope that level of our competitors in Russia and in other languages will give them chance to create this application with all features, and it will be great, because after this people from companies will say that these guys from work skills and from a mobile application development skill very good, and we can hunt them, we can go to we can get them to our works, and etc. Yesterday, if you remember, we showed you API with getting movies, with sign in, and etc. And you can see the example, the screen for this test project. It's just one session. It's about the component. You can see the preview for a video. Maybe if you used YouTube application before, and maybe you remember that you can hide the video, full screen video for this toolbar, like a preview where you can see the real video in a little frame. And if you need, you can swipe up and open video again. So it's one of the tasks for competitors. For example, you can see the video, we can put the play button, and if we need to scroll or go to another page of our application, this video will be moved to bottom screen and showed like a preview with control buttons, for example. So, and you can see that we need to create, I don't remember how it's names in English, but the control of a play position of video, for example, for seeking and for changing position, for controlling the volume and etc. And you can see that this one looks like a real production application too. Where's my Figma? Just a second. And where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? This one, for example. You can see that the screens with a real description, with the images of screen. Oh, someone is here, I see. So, yeah, as you know, Figma allows to collaborate, and we can see the another people online. And so, he's trying to catch my cursor. And so you can see the real elements, and it's part of real test project for our competitors from Russia. For example, you can see the layouts for one session for 3 hours. We asked our competitors, for example, on a national competition, create these screens during the 3 hours. It's hard, but we try to increase the level of our Russian students with these interesting, beautiful, and hard test projects. And another one, not this, another one. No, I think it's all, but I've got additional one thing. I need to check. Oh, I don't have Adobe XD here. I don't remember. Maybe Figma. Oh, it's not this. Give me a second. Maybe Figma can open or not can open. I guess I need to real application. Okay. So it was about a little bit about test projects, and now I want to show you some example of assessment criteria. And I need to find them in my laptop, and I think we can make some little break, because I think you need to fill a cup of tea and etc. For example, we can make a break for 10 a.m. It will be after 7 minutes. And so let's do a little break. I will prepare documents for you, and we will continue after 7 minutes. See you. So I'm here, but I need additional 1 or 2 minutes because in that PC that I use to demonstrating screen, we don't have a Excel Microsoft account, and we don't have a numbers. So I'm exporting to PDF everything. So just wait. Maybe you have questions, and it's a good time for asking them while I'm preparing. Mm-hmm. I think I need to change my my Zone account. Just a second, I will be back. So I'm here again with another laptop. Oh, Ivan, great question about the real devices and etc. We don't use real devices in sometimes because not all competition venues or colleges have money for buying devices. For example, we easily can buy Android device because it's cheaper, but many colleges can't buy a real device like iOS, Apple iPhone, or etc. By the way, for today, in many colleges, because of our skill, we bought many real devices, iPhones, Android smartphones, Apple watches and Android watches, and etc. But there can be a problem in same places in Russia because not every city has many money for buying everything. But of course, in the future, I hope in every college we will have testing devices for our skill, and we will have a chance to work normally in a real device. For example, if I try to run Android emulator in my laptop that I use for speaking with you for now, it will be a real problem because Android emulator trying to get all resources of my laptop, and it's a problem. Because of that, I use real devices, of course. And for now, for examples, we don't use real device because everything was good, but every time there are problem with the UI testing platform on Xcode. And it's very bad. But before we start meeting, I test everything. It works. But when I start to presenting you, it's broke, and it was sad. So I don't remember in WorldSkills Shanghai we will have a real device or not. We need to check infrastructure list. Maybe my colleagues remember about that. But there can be one big problem with a real device in a big competition, because every real device
have an access to a Bluetooth, to a Wi-Fi network, maybe for serial data, and it's risk to getting external information by competitor while during test project time. So for example, as I'm bad competitor, I can use this testing device for connecting to my friend's network and Google something, and many experts can see what I'm doing with my device because screen is very small, because I can hide them like with a hand and etc. So, and experts need control what competitor do with this device. For example, with Android device, it's very easy to control because we can make root access to this device and disallow, for example, to change Wi-Fi network or to connect to a serial data and etc. And it will be safe for accessing to external information to a competitor. But with iOS devices, we don't have normal instruments to control it or for removing access to changing information, for changing network and etc. So it's hard to control. Okay, but yeah, colleges have got a max because we started our skill, and in Russia, if we have some infrastructure list for a skill, and college can get money from government for buying software or for buying hardware and software things for a skill, but government can't give can give money for buying everything. For example, buying this not cheap Macs and buying iOS devices and etc. And because of that, colleges first of all buy just Macs, and for example, in the next year or later, they can buy additional things like iOS devices, Android devices, and etc. Because government don't have enough money to buying everything. But of course, we can talk about it. We can talk about it maybe after our meeting, or you can write me directly in a Telegram, and universities, because without world skills they don't have any chance to buy Macs, for example, because cost of Macs is very high, and but because of us, because we are starting this skill, so many colleges now have Macs, and it's great, I think. So you're welcome. Write directly to me, and so we can talk with you. And okay, I think we can go to our assessment criteria. I think it will be helpful for you. So I need to remove notifications. Just a second. Yeah. So, for example, we have got some assessment criteria for one of our test projects. You can see that there are many aspects. It's about, I think, 400 aspects for one test project. It's a very big number of aspects, but we're trying to make them very small for objective marking, for trying to assess every competitor's work. For example, if competitor placed a little label or little button for a screen, so we need to assess it. if competitor make some little feature, we of course need to assess it. And because of that, we have big test projects like a production applications. So they've got many features. So because of that, we've got about 400 aspects for assessment. Of course, we've got the measurement assessment criteria for check something, and of course we've got also judgment criteria for assessed like user interface, for assessed presentation of competitor, and etc. So go step by step, and I try to explain you what strategy we use while we're creating assessment criteria for our test projects. And I think I need to open. Yeah, I opened it. Okay. So, for example, for a splash screen, we've got three aspects. For example, it's displayed in the start of application, and we can put a mark for this. And image is not deformated. It's very important because many competitors for export, for example, image from a Figma, and if we use device with another screen like this one, yeah, image will be deformated, but competitor will make that image will be shown as it will be, like it's with a normal logo. So next one, if we see some big screen like this one, we need to check is every element from a layout is placed to the screen. For example, we can see the background picture, we can see the logo, we can see the title for it's like a sign in. Yeah. And for better understanding, like this. So we can see sign in title, we can see page title, two text files, sign in button and register button, for example. So we need to check is every element is placed on the screen or not. And for that, we've got this type of aspects, like they're all elements on the screen. And often we write count of elements that will be used, that will be in screen. So first of all, experts will count elements on the screen, like for example 7, yeah, but there are more than 7 because this assessment criteria is not for this application. And then, for example, we've got the maximum mark. You can see this one, and we need to divide this mark for a count of elements, like for 7, and then we need to count elements on a user on the competitor's result and put mark. For example, if competitor created only 2 elements, it's like a 0.5 plus 0.5, so it will be 0.1 point for screen for competitor, for example. And while we checking this one, we need to be sure that all these elements are different user controls, because competitor can just make the screenshot of this layout and put it in as a background for a page, and it's very bad, of course. And because of that, experts need to check, is this leaves, for example, background as a background, is the logo, it's one element, is the label, it's another element, and etc. And for example, is this this title is real text and not an image and etc. Because many competitors don't trying to put screenshots on the back of screens, and of course it's bad. Next one, it's about checking the onboarding tutorial, for example, that it will launch just once and not appearing during the next launches and etc. Here we can check it's all screens on onboarding tutorial, changes with the swipes and etc. So, and next one for another screens, you can see sign in screen, sign up screen, and etc. We've got also aspect about the all elements on the screen. You can see that even we're trying to check that competitor can validate files like email, like empty files, and etc. And of course, we need to check is competitor work with the server, because we need to be sure that competitor knows how to do it and etc. For that, first of all, of course, we're trying to open application, trying to put email, password, for example, try to put sign in and go to and check the result. And for testing, often we create additional accounts for experts, and they're trying to use these new accounts, and if they are working, so server connection is working normally. And but even we have questions about it's real working with the server or not. For that, we can give access to a database with the users, with the logs and etc. And then experts can be sure that everything works or not. So next one. They're about all elements, about swipes, etc. You can see them. Okay. Next. If you remember, in the first day, I told you that in our skill, we asked to show results of competitor within the presentation. Within the slides, and for example, we have aspects for a presentation too. For example, for the speech of competitor, we've got the judgment for this. We've got we check the matching the design of presentation, of describing of libraries and etc. So we also get the aspects for this. And if you remember, in the second day, I told you about the version control system, and I said that we use aspects for checking if competitor works normally with version control or not. So you can see that we've got additional aspects for each session for competitor. The same, but they have a little, like a cheap point for every aspect. But if we are trying to zoom everyone, we've got normal mark, like a half of full mark. Okay, we've got, of course, some aspects for UI testing, and we have some general aspects, for example, that application works with another orientations, that the layouts matching design, for using permissions, because it's very important to know how to use permissions, like for getting location, for getting images from camera, gallery, and etc. So we also have aspects for that. And of course, we need to know that competitor catches all crashes, all exceptions on application, and we also can have aspects for this. For example, we also often check the code style of competitor, for example, structuring, for example, containing comments for hard blocks of code, and etc. So it was like a fast showcase for assessment criteria. And if you need them, you can ask me. I can share it with you, for example, in our Telegram channel. And if you've got a question, we also can answer them. So maybe you have questions about the assessment criteria. There are no questions yet. So I think that we can go to another part of our session. We want to give you some little and easy test project. Sergey prepared it for you, and I think that he can describe you the test project, show you what you need to do. So, Sergey, are you here? Sergey?
Hello.
Yeah. Nice blurred background. Give me a second, please. I will change my Zoom. Сейчас подожди, ладно?
I'm again with you.
Готов?
Да.
You see, we've got.
Ты готов?
Да.
Ready?
Yeah.
Я подготовил небольшое задание.
I prepared a small test project.
У вас один экран, соответственно, есть некоторый список.
So you can see just one screen with a list of some data.
Этот список можно фильтровать. Соответственно, задание по еде для животных.
So you can see that you can filter this list with a selection on the top of the screen. This list about the food for pets.
Есть еда для кошек и для собак.
So we have food for cats and dogs.
Внизу представлен таб-бар, либо ботом-бар, да, в андроиде. Реализация происходит только главного экрана.
In the bottom of screen, you can see the tab bar. For a current test project, you need to make just the home screen. but there are another screens there, like just empty screens.
Ссылку я скину сейчас в чат.
You can see the link for this Figma in a chat, in a Zoom chat. Sergey, can you send? Okay, I will send it to Telegram chat too.
Thank you.
Maybe not.
Тогда сразу второй.
Oh. So now Lida will send these links to Telegram. So
Для получения данных сервера используется API. Ссылка номер 2.
Yeah, for getting information for these screens, you can use API that we are prepared for you. You can find it by the second link.
Здесь реализован один метод get по запросу еды.
You can see the one method for getting the food.
Этот метод принимает один параметр, он обязательный. В случае, если параметр фильтр не передать, будет выдана ошибка.
You can see that the required parameter about for the filter, and if you not put anything to this parameter, you will get the error.
Можно в Swagger прям попробовать выбрать фильтр и посмотреть ответ, который приходит. В ответе приходит массив JSON объектов с едой.
You can see that you can test it in a Swagger, like with a button execute, and you can see that result will be sent by the server. You can see the list of the foods for a selected pet type.
Структуру можно посмотреть чуть ниже в описании.
You can see the structure schema on the bottom of the request.
Так. Ну и также, да, bad request. В случае, если, вот, например, не передать параметр, да, только food, то будет выдана ошибка bad input parameter.
Yeah, you can see that, of course, if you not put the parameter like a filter, you will get the error like a bad input parameter.
Ну, в целом все. Такое маленькое задание.
Yeah, so you can see this little test project. So you have a chance to try to create it. So tomorrow we want to try to assess your results, because we want to give you feedback about your strategy, your results, and etc. And we want to make some training about assessing the test projects of competitors or of experts and etc. So I hope that.
Секундочку, можешь добавить еще, что для картинок используется собой URL, который в описании сверху.
Oh yeah, additional information for getting images. You can use a base URL that Sergey shown yet for putting the image name for this URL, and then image will be returned. Можешь вставить там, у тебя же в примере есть картиночка? Yeah. You can see this URL. Yeah, if we open it in a browser, for example, we will get image. Yeah, nice meal for the cat. Okay.
Dog Scholar.
It's Dog Scholar. Okay. special Dog Scholar without sugar, I guess. Без сахара, наверное. So And if you will have questions about the test project, you can ask us in the Telegram channel. And for sending your results for us, you can use one-off version control system, or for example, you can send like a zip folder with your source code, and you can send your result directly to me in my direct messages. So I see the question about when we need to finish this project. I think that it will be better if you can send your results, for example, at 20 hours, but by Moscow time, for example, if you want to take feedback from us. If you will send your results tomorrow, we also will assess your results, but maybe we will not have enough time to prepare some feedback for you. So if you have a time today, it will be very good if you send your results today, because of course we need little time for us. So maybe you have additional questions. It's so boring without. It's need tests. No, it's not need tests. It's just Sergey, мы видим твой экран. It's just about creating views without tests. But if you want, you can do it, but it's not necessary, because we know that you have your own work of your doings and etc. And maybe you don't have enough time for this one, and so it will be easy for you. Кириллу привет. Кажется, он был там мутный. So I think that if we don't have any questions now, we can end our meeting for today. I hope that it was interesting for you. Now you know more about the assessment criteria. I think I will send you this file with assessment criteria to our chat, so you can. Oh, we got a question. Great. I'm happy. So while he typing his question, I will send assessment criteria to our chat. You can use it, you can copy it, and etc. And of course, for every test project, for every competition, we're preparing own assessment criteria, but we use one strategy for creating them. So I see a question that competitors selected Android, so it's okay. Competitors in our skill can select platform, Android or iOS. And as you remember in technical description, we also can use Flutter for Android development.
Может быть, там еще вопрос, то, что макет очень похож на iOS-ный, и, соответственно, да, пускай не реализует такой, ну, типа универсальный.
Ну, в смысле, все-таки вот как у тебя на макете сделают.
Да.
So, if there are problems with that layout, look like application for iOS platform, so it's okay. Competitor must know how to implement custom views. Maybe it can be a little bit hard, but competitor will try to make as in layout. It's very important, because in test projects, there often can be some elements like can be created easily in iOS or, for example, easily on Android. So competitor must be ready to create custom views. And for training, it's very great example. Tell me, please, I answered your question or not about selected platform. I sent to our chat marking scheme for another test project, so you can easily look and trying to understand our strategy of test projects and assessment criteria. So I see that there are no additional questions. I hope that you will find the time for complete our task. So see you tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a fast last day with some important information. So I hope that everyone will be tomorrow. Okay, thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.